Hey everyone, Richard Phillips back at it with some more modern action. Today we're playing one of my favorite decks from like 2017, 2016 era modern, which is Esper Control. So Esper Control is probably never better than Blue-White Control at any point in its existence, but I used to love the card Esper Charm so much, and still do to this day. So we're going to try to make Esper Charm work in 2021. This card here obviously has 2-for-1 on both halves of it. It's either draw 2 or your opponent discards 2. You can also destroy an enchantment, but that's basically only just Blood Moon. So this is kind of your built-in draw engine in the deck, either by drawing cards or making your opponent discard cards. Obviously, you pair it with Snapcaster Mage for maximum value. Everyone, I'm really excited with how the channel has grown over the last couple of weeks. Got from 300 subscribers to almost 400 very quickly. Once I get to 1,000, I can begin to monetize the channel a little bit. If you're seeing any ads or anything like that, just know that YouTube is making all the money from that, not me. So if you're enjoying this video, please interact with it in some way. Give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate it. Anything to discuss about this deck? No, not too much, I guess. It's a pretty standard Draw Go list updated to 2021. We're not playing anything crazy, either main deck or sideboard, I don't believe. The Shark Typhoon has kind of taken place as like the main finisher of the deck. Honestly, I think Shark Typhoon in this deck especially is better than Planeswalkers. So we're going to keep this like almost true Draw Go style with the only sorcery speed thing being Supreme Verdict. We just have a couple of man lands as like a little additional ways to get in there with the Sharks. It's a 1-1 split. Modern's really fast. It's getting progressively faster, as the years go on with more and more cards being printed. So cards like Force Negation are really important, and you can't tap out. You can't play like a turn 2 tap land usually. You just lose. So we're going to minimize the number of tap lands we're playing. Sideboard, I am playing Stony Silence, which is, kind of against our Draw Go theme, but there's a lot of Tron out there right now, and Tron has a sideboard differently against Stony Silence than any of the other cards in our deck. So if the opponent's bringing in like natural, Nature's Claim, against Stony Silence, that's a huge win for us because there's nothing really else for it to target. And it attacks that deck on a different axis. That's also what the extra Field of Ruins for, as well as like a control matchup. If we want to just bring in the 26th land, if we're in a matchup where missing a land drop is going to be death, then yeah, we'll bring that in. And then just like a smattering of other cards. There's a lot of Shadow and Burn right now. So Celestial Purge is pretty good against like those Prowess decks or the Shadow decks. Brutality against actual Burn. Rejection for Eldrazi Tron as well as regular Tron. Extractions are really good with Field of Ruin against Tron, and also just graveyard decks in general, Storm, things like that. All right, we're gonna run into a league. Very excited. Once again, please subscribe, and I'll see you at the beginning of round 1. All right, everyone. Welcome to round number 1. This hand I think is a little bit borderline, but we're going to keep it on the back of this Force Negation. Hopefully we can use some of these cards pretty effectively. Okay, so Sigard is 8. In this matchup, this is Hammer Time, by the way. I've been very impressed with just actually countering the Sigarda's aid, because then there's so many fewer things that we have to play around. So I'm going to counter this, and I'm going to pitch this Cryptic Command because we're so far away from casting that. So now, if the opponent gets a Hammer Time into play, or a Colossus Hammer into play, we don't have to worry about it equipping. They're going to have to create another enabler to actually get to that. Especially with the opponent on a mulligan, or no, they weren't on a mulligan. But yeah, especially with us having some interaction in hand, like this Path to Exile, we should be set up pretty well to fight through at least like the first wave of the opponent's attack. So Pure Steel Paladin's another way that the opponent can utilize a free equipping of the Colossus Hammer. So that's just something we'll have to keep in mind. Probably could have played Pathed It in response, but I think we're fine with this. All right, so now we can hold up Path to Exile or Mana Leak. I forgot that they played Paradise Mantle. I just thought they were going to pass the turn. So that was definitely a little bit loose, but I think we're okay with that. So we can either Mana Leak this, or we can just path the Pure Steel Paladin. I think I like just pathing the Pure Steel Paladin. Okay, they play a Flare Husk, which is a cool card, like Flare Husk. All right. Cool, we drew a land. That's awesome. Pass the turn. We need to get a blue-white source with this one also. Stoneforge Mystic. All right, I guess that's going to get mana leaked then. That's just a 2-for-1. Sure, they equip the Memnite. So something interesting to note is that the opponent is apparently not on a Lurrus build of this deck, and most of these builds that I've seen are Lurrus builds, so I'm not really sure exactly what that means. But it's just something to keep an eye on, I guess. We could just make a 1/1 Shark here and block the Memnite, which is probably what I'll do here. Also gets us a little bit closer to possibly casting our Archmage's Charm. And, I mean, we're not going to die here, and we don't have counter magic up anyway, so I'd rather use our mana and try to dig. Drown Catacombs, perfect, all right. So if the opponent wants to path this shark or something like that, that's amazing. Okay, yeah, they're not playing main deck removal. This is good. Just managing our life total, drawing some cards. Sure, another Memnite's fine. It's actually really good for us. See if they play another creature, because then we could just Verdict. No, they're just going to equip. Okay. 2 cards in hand. All right, so Kaya's Guile, we can make our opponent sacrifice a card and just make a 1/1. Or we could just Verdict here. I think I just like Verdicting here. Just get everything out of the way. And then if the opponent tries to rebuild, Kaya's Guile is going to be really good. Oh, okay, the opponent just has Lurrus. Wow, okay. So they're just main decking Lurruses in this build. That's wild. All right. And we need white. We're just going to Esper Charm ourselves to draw 2. And I guess we'll shock this in. That's fine for the opt. And we're going to path the Lurrus right now so that the opponent doesn't get any more value off of it. We could be in trouble, actually, if the opponent has a Pure Steel Paladin here. Possibly should have thought about that. Okay, Stoneforge Mystic is fine. Stoneforge Mystic is not Pure Steel Paladin. But Pure Steel Paladin would actually kill us here, which is kind of crazy. They could equip the Colossus Hammer and the Flare Husk to this Memnite. Lightning Greaves. Oh my gosh. All right, the opponent's got a lot of stuff that is potentially problematic for us to beat. Lightning Greaves is, I've not seen that one in a long time. All right, in Modern. Polluted Delta is another land. I think we can bottom that. We could probably, yeah, Fatal Push is significantly better than that. So we can Fatal Push and then Kaya's Guile. Force Negation. All right, that's not too good. All right, we'll pass the turn here and see what the opponent does in combat here. Another land. Okay, that's good for us. Sigarda's Aid. We could just force that. Yeah, I mean, this force, I guess, is not doing too much, so we'll just counter it, like, manually. Okay, they're going to equip the Flare Husk. That's fine. And then in combat, we'll push it. Oh, they're moving over the Flare Husk. Yeah, that's fine. Because they'll just move it back if we killed it in response. So this way we are actually taking less damage. We're taking 1 less damage. Path to Exile is a good draw also. Opponent keeps drawing lands. This is good for us. We can make our opponent sacrifice and make a 1/1. Opponent sacrifices a creature. Make a 1/1 with flying. 1, boom, and this. Cool. All right, so now we have a win con, quote unquote. Esper Charm's a good card. We'll draw if we feel like we need to. The other thing we could do is we could just draw step, make our opponent discard 2, which I think I'm actually going to do because the opponent almost certainly has a hammer in hand. And I would like to just get rid of anything the opponent could do that's scary here. So this is going to discard a hammer and whatever card they drew for the turn. Oh, a Shadow Spear. That's what they were keeping in hand. Okay. Or they had a Plains in hand. Maybe the other. I just assumed because they would play the Sigarda's Aid, that meant that they were holding on to a hammer. But yeah, that worked. All right, Field of Ruin is not great. I'm just going to keep getting in there with this Spirit. Ooh, Pure Steel Paladin. That can be really scary. So we're going to have to path that in response to the equipping. Yeah, okay. And we should probably draw some cards because we would like to pull ahead here. And holding up just this counterspell means that, you know, we're theoretically dead to something else. All right, that's pretty good. I guess we shouldn't be necessarily attacking with the Spirit because the opponent can give stuff haste. Inventor's Fair. Wow. Okay. Just go ahead and get a Watery Grave, I guess. So I'm not going to attack now with this Spirit because that could potentially lead to disaster. Depending on what the opponent gets with the Inventor's Fair, I might have them upkeep discard or main phase discard again. We'll see. Okay, so they are going to go for it. What artifact do they get? All right, they get a Batter Skull, so that's definitely going to get discarded then. So draw step, and then we will white, black, blue. You discard 2. So we're already getting a lot of value off of these Esper Charms. Yeah, discard Castle Ardenvale and Batter Skull. So yeah, absolutely 2 cards that we did not want our opponent having. So that's good. I'm going to get another Plains here. I don't think this will screw us up too much. Another Field of Ruin, though, is not very good. No need to play it yet, but I'm going to hold back the Spirit in case the opponent finds something that they can equip, you know, the Colossus Hammer and stuff, too. Okay. Deals 1 damage to target. If this creature is a wizard, it deals 2 damage instead. Weird. Okay. Alright. Opt is probably pretty good. I guess we don't have to do it now. We can do it in response to whatever the opponent plays or at the end of the turn because our whole deck operates at instant speed. I'm like, oh, we could draw a Planeswalker, but we're not playing any of those. Ooh, Castle Ardenvale is really good. All right. Wow. All right. We're going to make a thing. All right, let's blow it up. Oh, actually, we want to wait to blow it up. Okay. We don't want to give our opponent extra mana here. They're going to... Okay, they're equipping the Sorcerer's Wand, and then they're going to equip the Lightning Greaves to it. All right. Yeah, let's blow this up. Take an island. Opt. Creeping Tar Pit. Yeah, we don't need that. Path to Exile. All right, are we pathing a human token? Yes, so. All right, we need to draw like Snapcaster Mage. That's the best draw probably. Kaya's Guile is pretty good actually. So we can escalate the Kaya's Guile fully and choose all the modes, which is good against our opponent's Lurises, and also will be a little bit of buffer on our life total. Guard is 8. Okay, that's fine. But now I'm not as worried about tapping out because we can just kill whatever the opponent's thing is. Our Cryptic Command's really good too. So we'll start killing our opponent with this Spirit. Might take a while, but we'll get there. Oh, another Inventor's Fair. Wow. All right. They're just going to go for it now. Okay. Man, the opponent's got like a super value build of this deck. What card are they going to get? Like a Memnite? Yeah, they are going to get a Memnite. Okay. Cool. Yeah, we'll let that resolve, and then when they try to equip things to it, we'll Kaya's Guile. All right, we'll just entwine it now. All right, and their graveyard is exiled. So if they draw Luris, we're not going to get surprise hit with a lot of value. All right, with Fatal Push, I think that's probably pretty wrapped up. So now we just need to win with these spirits. Which is going to happen eventually, like... I mean, these things do have power and toughness. Certainly our lack of Planeswalkers here is giving us a little bit of... I think we just feel to ruin that in response, right? They can't activate at instant speed. Also, I guess we can count how many lands our opponent plays. So they have currently 9 lands. Let's see if they play a 10th basic. Okay, they do play 10th basic. Sure. And we've pulled out like a lot of lands out of our deck. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, so there's 10 lands left in our deck. So actually, that's a lot of lands. It's more lands than I thought there would be. All right, there's a Snapcaster Mage. Perfect. So we can Snapcaster Guile actually would increase our clock, or we could just Snapcaster like, you know, Esper Charm or something like that. Whatever we want to do here, but yeah, I guess Snapcaster Kaya's Guile doesn't actually do anything. Oh, there's the Luris. Okay, so this is exactly why we I'm just gonna Snapcaster and Kaya's Guile entwined. I guess that's probably just the easiest and the safest. But they don't have any cards in their graveyard because, yeah. All right. So we'll do Snapcaster, and then we'll do Kaya's Guile. This just gives us the most life to deal with. Perfect. And we're up to 14 again, which is kind of... The other reason I did that is, you know, in case, like, worst case scenario, something happens, we're buffered a little bit. And with the Snapcaster Mage, the opponent's dead next turn. Sure, Flayer Husk is fine. I'm just gonna cast the Snapcaster Mage here to show the opponent what's up. As soon as I get priority, and they'll probably just concede to this. Like, this is enough power to kill. All right. Do Fatal Push. I don't want to show the opponent what else we got in hand. They go to equip. Just push it. That's it. Cool. Opponent's dead. All right. So this is a Stony Silence matchup. All right. So Stony Silence in. Ceremonious Rejection, honestly, might be pretty good too. That's in. So I kind of like these for sure. I don't know how I feel exactly about Force of Negation. It was like okay-ish there, but a lot of the stuff we need to do is just like removing their stuff. And Stony Silence and Ceremonious Rejection turn off all their equipment, so I'm not as worried about that. So maybe we're just cutting all the Force of Negations and just trying to manage their creatures. Does that sound right? Yeah, I think with Luris and stuff like that, I don't think I want to just be forced. Well, maybe that is good. I'm not sure. And then I guess we'll cut a Esper Charm just because Esper Charm's very slow. All right, let's do that. Let me know what you think about this sideboarding plan. Not a huge fan of this kind of thing, but you know we got a Stony Silence in this opening hand. We just need to make sure that we get triple blue here, and we'll be fine. Flayer Husk. That's fine. Memnite. All right, that's also fine. Memnite's also fine. Kept our verdicts in, so that's good, right? Yeah, I think we just cut. Yeah, we just cut our Force Negations. Cool. All right, and I'm already kind of liking that play because so far this hand is not a Force Negation type hand that the opponent's presented to us. Ooh, Path to Exile. All right, that's cool. I'm just gonna start on Watery Grave because we're probably gonna push something. I don't know necessarily what it is yet, but we'll push something for sure. Probably the Germ, because then the Flayer Husk isn't gonna do anything after we play Stony Silence. I think I'll just take the 3 here because if the opponent plays Pure Steel Paladin, I want to push that. And with the Kaya's Guiles in the deck, I think our life total isn't under as much duress as it would be in like a Pure Draw Go style. If they play Pure Steel Paladin, or if they don't. Okay, so they just pass. Yeah, let's just kill this Germ. Oh, Mana Leak? Alright, I actually like Mana Leak a lot. So this way we can just hold up Mana Leak or Path to Exile. And then I don't think we're going to play the Stony Silent or this Archmage's Charm next turn. So we probably don't have to worry too much about fetching exactly the lands that we were planning on before. Just equipping to the Mem Knight. Okay. It's fine. I think I like pathing that. Just to maintain our life total as much as possible. And then we can play Stony Silence. And fetch with the Polluted Delta, a tap land. Another Archmage's Charm. Alright, so this will be a tap land, and we'll play Stony Silence. Opponent can attack us with Infect, but we're not super worried about that. At least right now we're not. Sure. I'm actually pretty happy that the opponent's splitting up the damage between this and that. Between the Mem Knight and the Inkmoth Nexus. Like Infect and regular damage. Because either one would be more scary than both. Because it's like taking 2 damage a turn or taking 1 and 1. Like this almost means that we're at like 20 life instead of 10. Hallowed Fountain. No. Snapcaster's pretty good. We can block the Mem Knight, path the Inkmoth Nexus. The opponent's just playing mono white, so I doubt they have many protection spells, if any. Could also just draw cards. I think if the opponent just makes the same play again, we're just going to let it happen and draw cards at the end of the turn. Or if they go to the end step, we could just snap push the Inkmoth Nexus. But I think I'd rather just try to get some value off these Archmage's Charms while we're not super threatened. Mem Knight's fine. Alright, let's just draw cards then. Colonnade and Guile, both very good. And once again, like our life total isn't super under duress. We have this Kai's Guile and we have a Snapcaster Mage, so like sure the opponent can deal a little bit of damage here, but not too much. Just gonna play that and pass. Keeps playing lands. This is fine. Still fine. Do the same thing, which is just draw cards. Try to hit land drops so that we can interact all on one turn. The opponent doesn't play anything here. That's great. Yeah, we'll just draw more cards. Nothing the opponent's doing so far has led us to believe that we need to do anything irrationally fast. Alright, so now we can do Snapcaster Push this time, which I think is what I'm going to do to kill the Inkmoth Nexus and block a Mem Knight. And that'll still hold up. We'll still have a Mana Leak held up. Alright, equipment, and they just have equip 0, so that's not too scary at all either. Because, so it says, whenever an equipment enters the battlefield under your control. Alright, so I do need to kill it now. So we'll go Snapcaster and Push. And then we can Kaya's Guile to make our opponent sacrifice and make a 1/1 in combat. And block the Inkmoth Nexus. Oh, the opponent is attacking. Okay. So we will just, yeah, we'll make the opponent sacrifice, and I'll make a 1/1. And black. Just clear the board. Cool. More Snapcaster Mages is awesome. Just pass the turn. We can snap in Archmage's Charm here, or that path. I don't know. I mean, we pretty much have the game locked up. Or we just Cryptic Command this. Blurus. Yeah, let's just counter that. And then we can snap path the Inkmoth Nexus. Sure, Sigarda's Aid's fine. I just won't have any creatures. Snap path the Inkmoth Nexus. And then we'll kill our opponent over the course of a few turns here. We also have the Celestial Colonnade this time, which helps out a bit. This Mana Leak never did anything. Cool. All right, so we're going to be 1-0 here. Obviously, you know, once again, Draw Go style, we don't really have the ability to just slam the door on the opponent. But, I mean, that's kind of built into the deck. So we just now have to slowly, you know, attrition ourselves into a winning position here. All right, well, get a tap land. Just so we don't draw that. Snap Cryptic Command. Counter draw. That'll give us maximum information when we opt here. Yeah, okay, opponent concedes. Perfect. All right, so 1-0, beat Hammer Time, or a weird version of Hammer Time. See you at the beginning of round 2. All right, everyone, welcome to round number 2. This hand is a little bit slow. We're on the draw. We'll keep it, though. Not super thrilled, but it's got all the colors that we need. Opponent with a snow-covered plains means probably like Death and Taxes. So we want to get these fetch lands out like as soon as possible, and this is actually a little bit worrying. Just because of the number of them we have. Yeah, this is, oh, okay, it's a Thalia. All right, Thalia's not as bad as what it could be. All right, so we want to get a Hollowed Fountain here, and then we're going to want to get a Watery Grave with the other. And we're going to want to probably fetch... Oh, I guess it's not as important. Okay. Sorry, I was just thinking there. I'm trying to play around. Trying to play around Leonin Arbiter. Yeah, there's Leonin Arbiter. All right. So we actually are going to have to get a untapped land here. So we're going to get a... crap. This actually isn't very good at all for us. So I guess we just have to get an island. Sure. All right, then we'll play, I guess, a Glacial Fortress here and pass. We can let the opponent Stone Rain us, and we can try to trade with the Leonin Arbiter in combat. Yeah, I think we got to do that. All right. Avert your eyes, everyone. The value is gone. So yeah, so this is gonna just flash in and block that. All right. They have a path to exile here. Could be a little bit disastrous now. Okay. Cool. All right, so now at least we're gonna get access to our black mana. Flicker Wisp. Okay, just all right. So Flicker Wisp is actually not bad because this we can block that with the Shark Typhoon. All right, we're gonna get a black source with that one. Okay. Cool, and then we block the Flicker Wisp. That's great. So that was the least value Flicker Wisp I think I've ever seen. All right, we're gonna do the same old song and dance again. Force Negation's not very good. Take this time to play this Creeping Tar Pit because we're gonna make literally the same play again. There's a Verdict. Wow. All right. Cool. So these Shark Typhoons have just been super clutch because they turn Flicker Wisp, which is usually one of the opponent's best cards, into literally nothing. So that's awesome. Sword of Fire and Ice revealed. All right, I guess we're just going to Verdict here. So we'll get basic planes. And we'll just Verdict. Cool. Now we have the Kaya's Guile to really, like, get rid of some of the other stuff. Do I want to just force this? Yeah, let's just force it. It's just so much I'll have to worry about so much less if I just force this. All right, Giver of Runes is fine. Is this a Batter Skull? Yeah, it is a Batter Skull. All right. Ooh. All right, let's just entwine this. Yeah, we're just gonna entwine this, and then we'll just have to fight through the Batter Skull, which I mean, isn't like fighting through a Batter Skull isn't the hardest thing in the world to do, but it's also not super easy. All right, that's a good start. So we'll draw 2 here. Another Kaya's Guile is very good. All right. I'll just let the opponent hit us for 4 here. I'm not too worried about that. I'm worried about other stuff the opponent could do. Okay, the opponent just draws a card. That's not scary. Giganjo Castle's not too scary either. All right, this is actually really good because this means they can't bounce the Germ token back this turn. I mean, we should probably just counter this, right? Oh, no, we're going to counter the Batter Skull if we ever bounce it, or if the opponent bounces it. Yeah, okay, so we're going to let that resolve. That's fine. And then at the end of the turn, we'll just push the Germ. So we can't hold up Kaya's Guile. I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. Just want to get the opponent dead here. Our goal is if the opponent bounces the Batter Skull to force negation it on the way down. All right, Snapcaster Mage is a great draw, so now I'm not going to attack with the Creeping Tar Pit because I actually have things to do with my mana. These spirits from these Kaya's Guiles have been putting in work. I love it. All right, see if the opponent Field of Ruins my Creeping Tar Pit. If they do, we only have one island left in the deck. Let's actually get a black mana with that. All right. So then we will just cast Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, we'll Snapcaster Mage, and then we will Esper Charm here. Draw 2 cards. And then we still have the Force Negation up. Okay, opponent didn't bounce the Batter Skull. Interesting. Just assume the opponent would bounce the Batter Skull there. Sure. All right, we want to find a black-white. Yeah, all right, this is fine. Yeah, just another land, especially one that produces black mana, is ideal. Let's hold back the Spirit because the opponent has the Aether Vial, and I don't want them to be able to equip something with the Batter Skull. Is this a Thalia? Could just eat it. Oh, it's a Leonin Arbiter. That's fine. Yeah, sure. Are they really planning on blocking with the Leonin Arbiter? I don't think so, right? Path my Snapcaster Mage. Okay. Wasn't going to pay for that, so sure. I think I'm just entwining this again. Cool. The opponent goes to vial something in, I will Esper Charm to make them discard. Like that. So now they either have to bounce the Batter Skull and discard that, or okay, they're gonna just Path of Spirit. Sure. And then discard the card in hand. Oh, Skyclave Apparition, sure. Okay. That was nothing anyway. All right, and I maybe our opponent doesn't understand how Batter Skull works, because they're really not bouncing it. And I've been playing around it, so maybe that is strategic. But I've been like playing around that, and our opponent hasn't done it yet, so I don't really know what's up with that. Get a Hollowed Fountain. Yeah, opponent I don't think knows the Batter Skull. thing. Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah, that's probably worth countering. All right, so let's fetch here. Just so we're less likely to draw a land. And we'll counter it, draw a card. All right, Snapcaster Mage is great. Snapcaster Esper Charm. Oh, okay, sure. The opponent's gonna violent something with the vial here. Oh, Archon of Emeria. Wow, that was a good one. Ooh, all right. Whew. Didn't see that one coming. All right. Ooh, good play by the opponent. Sure. All right, let's get it out of here. That was a nice one by the opponent. I didn't see that one coming. All right, opponent finally figures out how to play Batterskull. All right, I'm gonna opt here, because that way we play around Archon a little bit better. I don't care about that. That's good. All right. Ghost Quarter, sure. All right, this we will just force negation. All right, Colonnade, so that'll be a nice juicy target for that Ghost Quarter, but we're certainly going to play it and make our opponent use their mana. The Spirit closing the gap. Nice. All right. So we don't really have much for this matchup, like, at all. We also don't really have many things that are bad in the matchup. Like, Mana Leak's not great, and Force Negation aren't great. Like, these cards right here aren't great. These 5. But, like, I mean, we could play, like, a couple Brutalities to kill, like, Leonin Arbiters and stuff like that. So maybe we should do that. Maybe we should just play all of our collective Brutalities and cut, like, so this way we have forces for the Aether Vial and some of the equipment maybe, and the Brutalities are a little bit better, especially with their opponent playing Thalia and Leonin Arbiter. We could, instead of Force Negation, play Stony Silence. Actually, I think I like that better. Let's just do that. Play Stony Silence. This way we won't force the Aether Vials, we'll just play Stony Silence, and then they can't equip the Batterskulls or anything like that. All right. Oh, cool. All right, this is actually a really good hand. It's got... the mana is a little awkward because there's no Godless Shrine in this deck, which could be a deck building error. Not really sure about that one. All right, it's gotten a little bit better now. So we want to play one of these fetch lands, and I think we just want to play Polluted Delta because I'm probably going to get a tap land regardless of what the opponent does here. All right, so that's going to hit the Collective Brutality for sure. So we'll get this one. Yeah, we're just going to Brutality that. We could discard a card to take a look at their hand, but I doubt they have any instants that we care about. So we'll just kill this. If they have another one and then Ghost Quarter us, then we're probably just dead, but that's, you know, just kind of what happens. All right, cool. That's not what happened. So now we will just play Plains. Fatal Push. Stony Silence. Just utilize our mana. Ooh, Gideon. Wow. All right. That was a little unexpected. Sure, I guess. So we're going to have to make a Shark or hope the opponent animates the Gideon. I guess they'll never do that. They won't be stupid enough to do that. So I guess we're making Sharks to kill it. And then we'll have to Verdict. Wow, so this is going to cost a lot of cards to get this off the board. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, that works. Oh, opponent just plays an even Mind Sensor. That's fine. Okay. Do we path the Aven Mind Sensor? Wow, this feels bad. All right, so we're going to path the Aven Mind Sensor, play Celestial Colonnade, which can kill the Gideon next turn. Attack the Gideon. But now with the Gideon +1s, we're in a little trouble. Wow. All right. This Gideon really threw a wrench in everything. So I guess maybe the Force Negations are coming back in on the draw. Or on the play, rather. Wow, crazy. Well, we have the mana leaks. I guess we just need to be mindful of Gideon. I just thought, I was like, oh, there's nothing really the opponent could play here that would be scary. But that's not true. There's, I guess, a lot of things the opponent could play here that are scary. Our opponent's keeping up Ghost Quarter. Wow, yeah, opponent's just making a 5/5. All right, I guess we're just dead. Another Stony Silence. All right. So what we have to do here, we're going to have to kill the Gideon. So we're going to have to tap down our opponent's team during combat next turn, and then use that to kill the Gideon. Or use the following turn there to kill the Gideon and hope the opponent doesn't have anything. So we got to like draw into Cryptic Command, basically. Or draw into Supreme Verdict. Those are like, that's our out, kind of. And our opponent can actually turn us off of that with Ghost Quarters. Sure. The activated abilities can't be activated, so that's completely fine. All right, beginning combat. We're going to fetch for a white source here. Okay, we found the Verdict. Wow. All right. So now we just need the opponent to not aggressively Ghost Quarter and Field of Ruin us out of this. And we have to do combat first. So we have to hope the opponent doesn't... they are going to do it. Okay, they're going to Field of Ruin this. And we'll get a Swamp. If the opponent... Okay, so no, they don't do it. Awesome. All right, so now this goes after Gideon. We kill the Gideon, and then we Verdict. Whew. All right, if the opponent had actually Ghost Quartered one of these planes, we wouldn't have been able to make this play. So Hats off to the opponent for a loose play. All right, now we just have to hope we don't die. All right, Field of Ruins, fine. And we'll just pass. See if the opponent goes after our lands. They do. All right. I'm going to use the opt. Yeah, Shark Typhoon's a good one. That'll be our win con. Make a 4/4 here at the end of the turn. Lean an Arbiter. Sure, that's fine. We'll just have to adjust our plan slightly. So we're just going to make our opponent sacrifice and make a 1/1. And this will let us pay for the Ghost Quarters. All right, Archmage's Charm's a good one. All right, so now we're in control again. We're going to be 2-0 in this match, or in this league. Very excited. Everything's playing out pretty well. Surprised we were able to win that against that. Surprised we were able to beat the Gideon. I really thought we were kind of done in for there. But I mean, I guess if the opponent strings together like a significant series of draws in a row, we could get in a little bit of trouble here. But I don't see that particularly happening here. We have a lot of tools now, especially with the opponent not being able to. Yeah, I guess that's fine. It's not ideal. Like, we can only make a 2/2 now if we want with the Shark. Or we could just draw some cards. I guess we'll just draw some cards. It's fine. We'll path that. Yeah, if the opponent's just has these Ghost Quarters sitting around. If the opponent was getting frisky with those Ghost Quarters, we would have lost this game. But it just so happened we were able to draw the Cryptic Command into the other line. Yeah, that I don't care about that. That's fine. All right, so you only play the opponent has for the turn, so we'll just make the Shark and then. Do this, make the opponent use a Ghost Quarter. Yeah, another Shark is great. And that'll kill the opponent next turn, unless they play something like really good here. Yeah, that's fine. Cool. On to match number 3. Hey everyone, let's get into round 3. So this hand is awkward. We know the opponent is playing Lurrus, which means they're probably playing a Death Shadow deck. I hate mulliganing against Death Shadow decks. We are not set up to cast Archmage's Charm on 3 or any of these white cards, but I think I'm still going to keep. I think that Thoughtseize is going to be good against any 6 that we keep and not very good against this hand. So let's hope they're playing Shadow and that they don't have like a super fast draw. Okay, they're playing Hammer. All right. Paradise Mantle is what their choice was, though. That's so weird. Do we want to play Drowned Catacombs here? Probably not. Let's just play this and pass. This way we can play Charm on 3 and push this turn. If we draw like a Mana Leak next turn, we can play it. So obviously, mana is very awkward for Archmage's Charm. It's kind of, you know, a problem with this deck overall. It only plays 19 blue sources. Right, is that right? Plays 25 plus 3, 22. Yeah, it plays 20 blue sources. All right, 20 blue sources actually isn't horrible. It's just we drew 2 of them, plus the Field of Ruins. So it's just the 2 basics plus the Field of Ruins. All right, we go Swamp, pass. Opponent probably is Googling me on MTG Goldfish. I have enough deck results where, you know, people can pretty solidly put me on some sort of interactive control deck. Basic Swamp in Modern doesn't really mean anything. Generally, it means a bad deck, honestly. So maybe we won't get... Yeah, if they play Paradise Mantle, then yeah, we can push it. Perfect. All right, worked out well. Opt. All right, well, we're going with the Drowned Catacombs for the opt. We might be able to get our opponent to discard cards, too. Let's opt and see if we can find a Fatal Push. Island. All right, we actually do want Island. All right, cool. Colossus Hammer. Okay. Equip the Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Do we want to play Island or do we want to play Plains? I think we want to play Plains here and then draw because that will give us more outs to casting Supreme Verdict this turn. Or we can, if the opponent plays 2 spells, we can make our opponent discard, which also seems pretty good, especially if we know they have Hammer in hand. So Giver of Runes is fine, yeah. We'll see if they activate the Stoneforge Mystic main phase. If they do... All right, I don't know what this is. Oh, they play a land. Okay. All right, come on. Please main phase activate the Stoneforge Mystic. No. Pure Steel Paladin. All right, and they have Colossus Hammer in hand. Wow. So what, we got to make them discard the Colossus Hammer? Is that like the only way we're going to survive here? Because they're going to get to draw a card and just equip it with the Pure Steel Paladin, and we don't have removal up. So I guess, yeah, that's what we're going to do. And we didn't have priority at any point here to do anything with this. So that is really unfortunate. All right, and now we got to draw a land, or white land for the Verdict. Opponent attacks for 1, that's fine. Doesn't attack for 1. Does attack for 1. All right, we draw a land here. I think we're in pretty good shape. Yeah, there we go. Whew. Deck bailing out this mulligan decision. Let's get that out of here. So now we're going to have to counter Lurrus. The opponent's probably going to put Lurrus in hand here. Yeah, there's Lurrus in hand, and okay, sure. And then pass the turn. So now we're going to need to hold up this Archmage's Charm to counter that. Cool. Opponent's going to draw with the Sunbaked Canyon. Nope. Okay, just pass the turn. That's fine. Play around Mana Leak. I play a land and then Lurrus. That's fine, yeah. Secure Aid's fine. That's also fine. Boots. I love boots. Man, all these decks are playing boots now. All the ones I saw before were had other colors involved. All right, let's do this. Make a 3/3. Had they were like blue-black decks, so that's interesting that that's no longer the case, I guess. Now we have counter magic plus Path to Exile up, and we'll slowly kill our opponent with this shark over the course of like 4 turns. Need to kill or counter Lurrus. Blue, blue, blue. Counter Lurrus. Plays just regular planes. The mix of planes and snow-covered planes is very funny. So we've played with one Lurrus against one Lurrus shadow deck or hammer deck and one regular deck, which is kind of funny. All right, we'll get the Hallowed Fountain here. I guess we'll play Glacial Fortress. Prefer not to counter anything. We'll only counter something like a Lurrus, I think. They play boots, that's fine. I don't think I'm countering boots. Stoneforge Mystic. That actually might be worth countering. Now let's draw and see if that influences our decision at all. Well, that wasn't very good. All right. Oh, Flare Husk? Yeah, that's not scary at all. Okay. Do we want to make a 2/2 shark? Yeah, let's do it. This way we can tap out for something next turn and still possibly kill our opponent. Sure. Get boots. Well, the hexproof and haste part is actually kind of annoying. Didn't really think of that. All right, there's Esper Charm. So we can fortunately make our opponent discard both cards that they have in hand and tap our opponent's stuff down. So we'll make them discard. All right, cool. We got rid of the hammer and the Flare Husk. Attack our opponent. And then they'll be dead. Cool. All right, so against Hammer Time, we are going to bring in the Stony Silences and the Ceremonious Rejection, possibly, and the Collective Brutality, possibly. All right, so those are the cards that we want to bring in. The last time we cut the Force Negations, I think that's probably still what we want to do. So maybe we'll cut those and an Esper Charm and just leave the brutalities in the board. And we could possibly bring them in. But I think I like this. This way we're just 1-for-1ing our opponent because the game's going to get kind of grindy and I don't necessarily want to have Force Negation. I'd rather have Ceremonious Rejection because it's going to... The only thing we could force are artifacts, and Ceremonious Rejection is just a 1-mana counter instead of a 3-mana counter. And I don't really want to pitch things to force. I don't think. I'm trying to think of what else the opponent could play that would be scary. They're a Lurrus deck, so they... It looks like they're... If they don't display their companion, I guess then maybe we have something to think about for Game 3, even if we don't see anything. But if they display their companion, there's not much else that's scary that the opponent could play I'm thinking like a Planeswalker, like another Gideon. All right, Luris is revealed. I mean, this hand isn't going to wow anyone, but it's functional. It's got a blocker. It's got interaction. Ornithopter's fine. Steel Shaper's Gift. All right, so they're just going with the... Going for like the really early hammer. Which honestly might be enough to beat us. I think we got to hold up interaction here. So I'm just going to play this Polluted Delta and pass because I don't want necessarily the opponent to just go all in on a hammer on this Ornithopter. But if the opponent plays a hammer on this Ornithopter, we probably just lose. We'll have one turn to draw removal. Okay, the opponent is attacking us for 0. Oh, they are going to put the hammer on it. Wow. All right. All right, we got to draw a removal spell here. Might just be losing to the turbo hammer draw. All right, we got to find Path to Exile exactly. Nope. All right, go to the next game. Weird. All right, turn 3 kill from the opponent with just putting the hammer on the Ornithopter. So yeah, maybe, I mean, based on the way we lost that game, maybe we do want the Force Negations then. So maybe like 2 Force Negations and we'll cut a... I don't know. Shark Typhoon seems good. Archmage's Charm seems okay. Mana Leak is maybe a little awkward because we're pathing them. So maybe one of those and a Cryptic Command just because it's a little slow. Let's cut an Archmage's Charm. The mana is really awkward, and we're going to be trying to cast a lot of spells early and maintain our life total. So we'll cut that. All right, we would like to play first. Man, that's just so crazy. The opponent just jammed like that. Like, it beat our hand. But wow. All right, this hand I don't think does enough. I think I got to mulligan this. It's just way too slow. All right, this one at least has a path, so that's good. And we can put one of these islands back because we'll draw lands. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so we'll do that and put an island back. We'll get blue-white here, and then we'll get blue-black with the other one, and then we can Esper Charm on 3. Memnite's fine. Yeah. I probably should have done this at the end of the turn. That was actually stupid. Because the opponent can play some other stuff here, theoretically. No, they don't. Okay. Snapcaster Mage is a good draw too. Inkmoth Nexus is scary. Wow, the opponent's got a good setup against what we're trying to do here. Very good setup. See if they attack. They do. See if they put a thing in. Path it. All right, cool. So the first hammer's down. We can Snapcaster, do the same thing. They're gonna find another one. Gonna really make us tax this this Inkmoth Nexus. Tax our removal. Get blue-black here. See if they go for it. If they do go for it, then, you know, we're going to have to snap path and hope they don't have a protection spell. Or a Thoughtseize. Well, I guess if they have a Thoughtseize, we just have to play the Snapcaster Mage, and then we can path the Snapcaster Mage. Okay, they don't have Thoughtseize. Good. See if they're going for it. They go for it and they have, like, what's that card called? Apostle's Blessing or something like that, then yeah, we lost. But, I mean, there's not that much we can really do about that. I think I was supposed to let it equip first. They have Surgical Extraction? No, okay. Cool. All right, we're still alive. All right, Field of Runes, also a pretty good draw. Now we have Cryptic Command up. Or Esper Charm. All right, I'm a little less scared now. Yeah, let's counter that. Ooh, into another Cryptic Command? Sure. Okay, and they put Lurrus in hand? Sure. Stony Silence. All right, well, I think we got to hold up Cryptic Command to kill Lurrus, but after that, it'll be a pretty good play. Got to survive for 6 more turns. Or the opponent gets 5 more turns until the Snapcaster Mage kills them. So we got to try to draw a little bit of gas for 5 consecutive turns. Inkmoth Nexus is pretty good. All right, and the opponent has 2 cards in hand. We can blow up the Inkmoth Nexus and Stony Silence our opponent. Or we could just hold up Esper Charm or Kaya's Guile. Actually, I think I like that better. So we'll do this. Opponent probably wanted to let the spell resolve first, but okay. Now we have Esper Charm and Kaya's Guile hold up, which is good. I think I like that better than the Stony Silence idea. This. Reckless Crew. Create where for each of these tokens you may attach an equipment to it. Are we just gonna lose to Reckless Crew? What is this? All right, so we have what, 2 Force Negations in this deck? All right, so create X, where X is the number of vehicles you control plus the number of equipments you control. For each of those tokens, you may attach an equipment you control to them. So they're gonna make 2. All right, I guess they don't. Yeah, okay, this actually isn't too bad. So the answer here is yes. So they make it, and then they equip the Colossus Hammers to them. Okay, Mem Knight's fine also. Yeah, all right, this is fine. Cool. All right, so then we're just gonna verdict. So we'll just draw 2 cards. For some reason, I thought it also gave him haste, but it doesn't. So I don't really know. Whatever. All right, so we'll just verdict. And play Stony Silence. So now, even if our opponent draws Pure Steel Paladin, they can't equip the Colossus Hammers. They can't do... it shuts off a lot of stuff. Opponent laughs about it. Just let our opponent know what's up. All right, so we can Kaya's Guile. We can also Esper Charm. I don't think we're just dead here. I mean, our opponent's Luris is gone. Yeah, there's Pure Steel Paladin. They can't equip anything. They just get to draw. Yeah, that's fine. Sure. So I can make the opponent discard and then Kaya's Guile. Do that. You discard. Oh, actually, All right, yeah, let's do it. They could have something else that's crazy that I don't know about. So we'll do this, and then we'll have them sacrifice, and we'll make a 1/1. Pure Steel Paladin Cigar is 8. Okay, so it's pretty similar. We'll do this, and then you sacrifice, and I make a 1/1. Black, do. Oh, they drew another Pure Steel Paladin. All right. Yeah, I'll just attack with Spirit. This is fine. Pure Steel Paladin isn't that scary. We have Snapcaster Cryptic. We have just an overloaded Kaya's Guile or an entwined Kaya's Guile. We're in pretty good shape here. The opponent just attacks us. You know, that's fine. Sure. Opponent attacks us. At the end of the turn, we'll just play the Kaya's Guile. Flayer Husk, okay. That's cool. The opponent's going to sacrifice the Flayer Husk. They draw a card. Good. Just attack him with 1 Spirit. And we can kill him with the Shark Typhoon if they don't do anything. Sure. Fine. I think we're still supposed to just kill our opponent, as funny as that is. I'm pretty sure the right play here is to just take 12 of Cranial Plating. Yeah, I think this is fine. I'll take 7. It's no worries. Cool. So unless the opponent has, like, I don't know. Actually, not sure what the opponent would have to have here. Some sort of, like, surgical extraction or something like that. We can opt to try to find just an actual removal spell. Oh, okay. All right, so we'll Snapcaster, Cryptic Command, just tap down our opponent's stuff, and draw a card. And that'll be the game. Good. All right, 3-0. Doing well. I'm going to kick Magic Online. I'll be back for round 4. Hey, everyone. Richard Phillips. Round 4. Let's go. I almost did my full intro because I took a small break, and I didn't remember where we were in this league. Apologies, there's a train going by behind me right now. So anyway, this hand is very good. It's got a lot of interaction. It's got a late game. We're against Tron. Okay. You know, obviously not exactly where you want to be, but fortunately we have tools in this matchup now. Like, we didn't used to have as many tools as this in this matchup. I don't really care about getting the planes, I don't think. The opponent doing this now, playing around Tail's End, is fine. I'm going to get a blue-black source here. Snapcaster Mage. All right, so we'll see what the opponent plays. Path to Exile might be very good against them. We might have to use this Esper Charm to try to draw into Force Negation. We shall see. It could be Eldrazi Tron still. Wormcoil Engine, that's fine. That's the least scary of anything the opponent could have done there. So let's just draw some cards. I don't need to get rid of that right away. We can hold up Cryptic Command for the next turn, then we can path it the following turn. So yeah, not too scary. We got Cryptic Command now. If the opponent doesn't do anything, we can just path it. Take 6 here, that's no worries. That Karn, on the other hand, yeah, we need to get rid of that one. All right, so let's just get an island here, and we'll counter that and draw a card. Opponent has 5 mana, which is 1 off of them being able to cast something super scary. Yeah, that's not scary at all. Still not scary. Could be scary next turn, though. Because we don't have any interaction for the opponent. We do need to draw something here that interacts favorably with what the opponent's trying to do. Like, another Cryptic Command would be great. Supreme Verdict is not great. So we might be forced here to Snapcaster Esper Charm, which kind of sucks, but it looks like that might actually be the play if the opponent casts something scary. So we'll let our opponent attack us, and then we'll snap Esper Charm. Oh, Sanctum of Ugin, yeah. All right. Yeah, this is getting scary now. All right, we'll take 6. That's fine. Ugin the Spirit Dragon. Yeah, that's a little scary. All right, so they're going to search up a card. What card are they searching up? Ulamog. All right. Now we need to draw Force Negation into Field of Ruin. And we're dead. All right. All right, so against Tron, we do have a pretty good sideboard. Was hoping we would be a little bit better game one against Tron, but we kind of got destroyed there. All right, so Ceremonious Rejection, Field of Ruin, and Stony Silences are all good. And then probably like some number of Surgical Extractions, like 2. Cards that are bad in the matchup, Supreme Verdict, Fatal Push. These are like really, really bad. And then there's some cards that are just not as great. I don't like all of these Path to Exiles, especially if we have Kaya's Guile. They're pretty good, but I think Kaya's Guile actually is worse. So maybe we can cut these and bring in another Surgical Extraction just to remove threats from the opponent's deck. So I think I like that. Let's cut both Kaya's Guiles and the Fatal Pushes, bring in all the Surgicals and all the other interaction. And let's go with that. We can make our opponent discard also and Surgical the card that they discard. A lot of things, and the extra Field of Ruin is going to be super helpful with Stony Silences. But this deck is certainly built post-board to beat up on Tron, and hopefully we will be able to do that here. Pre-board, it should have a pretty good matchup. The opponent just had a lot of threats. They had the Worm Coil on turn 3, and we didn't have a Mana Leak, and then we drew just one Cryptic Command the entire game. No forces, anything like that. All right, what does this hand do? This hand is really fair. Oof. I think we can keep this. Like, we don't need to mulligan aggressively. We should have enough tools to win this matchup. Especially with the opt and the Mana Leak. I think I'm happy with it. The opponent also kept 7, so they're planning on a relatively drawn-out game. This Glacial Fortress actually isn't going to enter untapped, which kind of stinks. I didn't really factor that in when thinking about this hand, but I think we're going to get bailed out here with this Field of Ruin draw. So now we can Mana Leak something here, and or just opt. I guess that works too. We can just opt. Esper Charm. Probably don't need a second one of those. Ceremonious Rejection is really good. All right, cool. And a Force Negation. Wow. All right, so we'll play this, and then we'll stop our opponent during their draw step. And we'll Field of Ruin. So what did they play? They played Urza's Mind second. So we'll destroy that one. And we'll get a basic island for the Ceremonious Rejection. And then that'll let us play the Glacial Fortress next turn untapped. Their opponent's going to Sylvan Scrying. Yeah, I guess that's fine. It's not ideal, but it works. Kept our opponent off Tron 1 turn, but I didn't want to force a negation that. That seemed a little ridiculous. So the opponent revealed Urza's Mind. So they are going to have Tron assembled. So I think at this point now we're no longer fighting our opponent on the axis of their mana. We are going to have to, unfortunately, fight on a different axis here. So the one thing we can do here, though, is we can opt and we can try to surgically extract the Urza's Mind if we find one. So that's probably worth doing. There it is. Cool. So now we'll go to our opponent's draw step and then surgically extract their mind. We know they have one in hand. And this will cut off a lot of our opponent's ability to play this game. All right, so we know they have one in hand. Opponent does have Nature's Claim in hand and 2 forests. All right, so we know that their opponent's hand is that. They have 2 Veil of Summers in the deck, which is good to play around. They have 3 Thrag Tusks, which is not something I've seen in a long time. So that's good to know. They do have Ulamogs. Okay, so they have 2 Ugins, 4 Karns. I'm trying to think like the big stuff. 2 Worm Coils. All right. They have 3 more lands in hand plus a Nature's Claim. All right, so we are going to have to play around some of the stuff that they have. That's cool. All right, they get a Blast Zone, which is fine. And we will draw 2, except we will tap differently. I guess we can. No, we have to. If they draw Thrag Tusk, we need to be able to hold up Mana Leak. I was gonna say we could probably just draw here, but if we don't draw a land, it could get a little sketchy. So we're just gonna do this, and now we'll draw. All right, so now unfortunately we're gonna have to go to discard, which is not the worst thing in the world, but also not exactly what we're looking to do. Is discard to hand size against our opponent here. If our opponent plays, Wormcoil Engine, we have the path for, so I'm not too worried about that. We'll get another white source here. Opponent already had forests in hand. So I think they might have one more in the deck. I actually didn't count the number of forests they play. It's fine. Another Esper Charm. At some point, we can start using this to make our opponent discard, but I don't think we're quite there yet. Yeah, Chromatic Sphere is fine. Four, five, six, seven. All right, we'll see if the opponent wants to search with the Sanctum. They do not. All right. And then we will draw two. And I guess we'll just... Maybe we should just Mana Leak it to use up our mana, because the Mana Leak isn't going to be good against everything, but it's good here. Let's do that, I guess. We'll just Mana Leak it. All right, let's opt for a land. Field of Ruin, that's a good one. All right, so we'll play that, and we can blow up our opponent's Sanctum of Ugin, and we'll just do that now, I guess. I doubt they have another... forest. Yeah, they don't. Okay, cool. So that was just a Stone Rain, so that's good. All right, and we'll just reject that. The opponent has... Okay, they don't. Cool, another Snapcaster Mage is great. All right, so now we're just value knocking our opponent out of the game here. They are getting kind of close to Ulamog, which is a little scary. So we can Snapcaster Esper Charm, I guess. And we'll just draw two. All right, Shark Typhoon's a good draw too. Ulamog isn't, I guess, even that scary because we have Path to Exile still. If they get rid of two of our lands, like, that's fine-ish. It's not amazing, obviously, but we'll be able to survive that. All right, opponent's getting their Blast Zone ready for killing our Ancient Stirrings is fine. Karn the Great Creator, we can just reject that. Yeah, Sylvan Scrying's fine also. And then we can just Snapcaster, make our opponent discard. I think I like that a little bit better. And then we can not show our opponent the Stony Silence this whole game and hope that they don't respect it for game 3 by, like, boarding out or something. We know that one of their cards is Nature's Claim. Nature's Claim card liberated. Cool. Opponent can theoretically blow up this blast zone, but like I said, I don't really care too much about that. All right, almost F6 through the whole turn. Which honestly, at this point in the game, would be kind of fine. We weren't really doing anything. We're just doing a little bit of combat damage to the opponent. Expedition map is fine. That doesn't do anything. They blow up the blast zone. Snapcaster mages are down. And then we'll just make a shark and kill our opponent over 2 turns with the shark. Oh, I guess we have to kill our opponent over 2 turns with the shark and the creeping tar pit. So we'll just, next turn, we can put the lethal on him. This way we can do the Archmage's Charm with force negations and stuff like that. So, see if the opponent concedes here. It's just an expedition map, that's fine. I don't think they can... I didn't see a Ghost Quarter in their deck main. They might have one. I missed that. Okay, now it's just Urza's Tower, that's fine. And then we'll just activate and kill them. We actually could have done a lot of damage here. We could have done like 15 damage in 1 turn with the shark plus the manlands. All right. Post board, we know that our opponent has Thragtusk. That's the only card that I'm actually a little bit worried about. I think 3 Path to Exile is a good number still. Ceremonious Rejection's good. Yeah, I think this is fine. We just need to be a little bit careful with our Esper Charm into Veil of Summer. Let's hope the opponent's boarding out their answers to Stony Silence. I think the card's still good enough to bring it in. Like, even if the opponent spends a turn destroying it or a card destroying it, that's fine. Yeah, we'll keep this hand. This seems really good, actually. We need more lands, obviously, but we got the Ceremonious Rejection. We've got all of our cheap interaction with this hand, which is great because that's how we can lose, is not being able to get under the cheap interaction. We can also lose by missing land drops, so that's something to keep in mind also. All right, so now I think, here just going to get a white-blue source here and just jam the Stony Silence, because I think the opponent is going to be a little bit more reliant on artifacts this game, and I don't mind tapping out here with the opponent not having a turn 3 Tron. So the worst thing the opponent can do here is like blow up art. So it looks like our opponent they're not attempting to assemble Tron, is what I'm getting from that search. They searched for Sanctum of Ugin. Either they have Tron, but it's like rolled up and they don't really care. I don't know, very strange. So we will draw step, blow up the Urza's Tower, I guess. Get an island. All right, they did have Tron, so they just had Tron rolled up. All right, that doesn't do anything. And now we'll opt into Surgical Extraction. Yeah, that's probably fine. Yeah, we'll opt into Surgical Extraction, sure. Get rid of the towers. We want to opt into lands, too. So let's try to opt into a land. Snapcaster Mage is not a land. All right, and depending on what we see from the opponent here during their draw step, we can also Snapcaster Surgical them at some point. All right, so they had one in hand. Oh, okay, so they have been playing around using this Veil of Summer this whole time. That's kind of interesting. They're going to get to go land and then play Karn the Great Creator here and play Veil of Summer around our spells. Wow, that's actually really interesting. So if we would have either drawn a land there or... Ooh, wow. Okay, so we have to beat this Karn the Great Creator, which, I mean, is not going to be the easiest thing in the whole world to do. I guess they can't get artifacts. Like, the artifacts don't work. All right, so Sylvan Scrying's in hand. Sanctum of Ugin, Blast Zone. They have 3 Thragtusk skill still. They just have 1 Nature's Claim. Okay, so they really trimmed on that. We just need to not play into the Veil of Summer if possible. That's fine. All right, what card are they going to get? They get Liquid Metal Coating. That's fine. It doesn't do anything because the Stony Silence. So I guess we are just going to go ahead and Snapcaster Mage here. I don't think I want to... I don't want to... Yeah, I don't want to do any of these things. So I'm not going to surgically extract their Expedition map because their Expedition maps don't do anything. So I'm cool with that. All right, Colonnade is pretty good. And then we can attack Karn. This way they can't get something like a Worm Coil Engine from Exile. Blast Zone's fine. So this way we can... Oh, they're just going to make the map a 1/1. Okay. Fine, too. So now we can snap Opt. Okay, let's do that. This will get the Karn off the board again. Yeah, Force Negation's good. Shark Typhoon, alright. So now we'll attack the Karn. Get the Karn off the battlefield. Alright, the opponent should have blocked one with the Expedition map because the Expedition map isn't going to be this. 3 mana. 2 mana to put counters on the Blast Zone. Ah, okay. And then they're going to blow up the Blast Zone to kill the Stony Silence. Okay. Interesting. Alright, so we still have to play around Veil of Summer. That's the only card that's like kind of getting in our way of just being able to demolish the opponent here is Veil of Summer. Alright, Worm Coil Engine's fine. It's actually not scary. I'm going to draw cards here. No, actually, I'm going to cycle. I want to kill the opponent. Alright, Blast Zone's good. Another Archmage's Charm. Alright, we're at 7 cards in hand. So we haven't drawn very many lands this game. Opponent just takes the damage. Okay, that's fine. They're not going to blow up this Blast Zone. Okay, now they're going to blow up the Blast Zone. Sure. Okay, so their Expedition map works again. They just get another mine. Alright, they've played that. We know that these 3 cards are in hand. We know these 2 cards are in hand up here. Karn the Great Creator. let's just hard cast Force Negation on... Oh, wait, no, we don't want to do that. Let's just reject this, and then they'll play a Veil of Summer, and we'll Mana Leak the Veil of Summer. Okay. That Mana Leak the Veil of Summer. Do they have another one? No. Okay, cool. Alright, so now I'm not so scared about the Veil of Summer. Sylvan Scrying's fine. Alright, so we'll let our opponent go to draw step here, and then we were going to surgically extract the Veil of Summers. Alright, so they have Liquid Metal Coating, Forest, Power Plant, Worm Coil Engine. Alright, there's a Oblivion Stone, 2 Oblivion Stones in the deck. Alright, that's kind of all we're scared about now. We'll just counter that. Liquid Metal Coating's fine. Alright. Well, we really have not drawn lands this game, but looks like we're in the driver's seat at least. Yep, that's fine. I will absolutely draw cards here if we can. The end of the turn, if we don't need to counter something. Yeah, let's just counter that, I guess. Wow, we've seen a lot of the deck without. We've drawn mostly interaction. We still have never been able to cast this Esper Charm, partially because of the way that I tapped, but you know, partially other ways too. All right, see what land the opponents get. They get a Power Plant. That's fine. They play the Power Plant. All right, so I think I am going to draw two cards here. We could lose to Thragtusk a little bit this way, but not if we have a Path to Exile. Yeah, all right. Field of Ruins really good too. We can just use that to blow up the Sanctum of Ugin so that the opponent can't get more value and get a black source off of it. Get a black source. All right, no Thragtusk. Ugin. All right, that we can just force. And then we just kill our opponent here with Colonnade. All right, let's go for that trophy. Whew. 4-0. All right, everyone, welcome to round number 5. We're looking for that trophy, and I'm going to keep this hand. It's got interaction on 2 and 3. Obviously, need to not draw lands. Burn, Prowess. Storm. Okay. Cool. Haven't seen that in a long time. All right, let's play the Creeping Tar Pit. That's fine. Wow. All right. Surgical Extraction's pretty good against Burn. Or against a Storm, rather. But Force Negation is also. Wow. All right. Maybe the opponent's on something else? Shivan Reef means that they have to be on Storm, right? Yeah, I think they have to be on Storm. There's nothing else really makes sense here. I don't think I'm just going to lose to Blood Moon or anything like that. Just hold up the Archmage's Charm with Force Negation backup. Draw some cards with the Archmage's Charm if we want to. Okay, opponent's not doing anything, so I'm not going to do anything then. Fine. Yeah, let's just play this and pass. This way we have Path plus Archmage's Charm up. The opponent goes to discard. That's wonderful. Opponent. All right, so they could just play a main deck or end of turn gifts here while we're fetching. They do not. All right. Let's just play Field of Ruin. This way we have Archmage's Charm plus Mana Leak up. Mana Leak that. Now that we've discarded a card, we could consider drawing 2 with Archmage's Charm at the end of the turn, and I think I might do that. See. Opponent's at 7. If they remand this, that's fine. I'm way more scared of them remanding their own spell somewhere in the middle of like a combo turn. So yeah, let's just draw some cards here. Kaya's Guile to exile their graveyard is actually really sweet. I didn't even think of that. All right. Yeah, let's hold up 6 mana because that's a hard cast or Force Negation plus Kaya's Guile. Yeah, Solemnity Visions. Love this card. I was considering playing a copy in this deck. All right, they get a Gifts Ungiven. Cool. All right. So we got to play a little bit around Gifts Ungiven, which is fine. Goblin Electromancer. Okay, that's fine. And we'll just path this at the end of the turn. See if the opponent wants to go. No, okay, they don't want to do anything with that. Sure. We are giving our opponent a little bit of mana, but I think I'm a lot more scared of some of the other stuff they could have done here. And then let's blow up this canal also. Opt. Yeah, I don't really want to play this. I'm not planning on tapping out for Celestial Colonnade like anytime soon, so I think I'm just going to continue along the lines that we've been doing here. One has 8 cards in hand, which is great for us. That means they have to force a little bit of action here. If they discard a hand size, I'm super about that. All right, discarding the hand size. Repeal. Discarded the hand size. Interesting. Let's play Island. I'm not playing these tap lands because we're still a little bit on the back foot here. We need to hit all of our land drops for forever. And I'd prefer them all to be untapped in case we need to start fighting over things. Is this a Gifts Ungiven? Yeah, let's just Cryptic Command this. Yeah. Cryptic Command, I'm a little scared of not being able to beat a what do you call it? A little scared of not being able to beat a remand on that, so that's why I'm playing around that as much as possible. All right, so let's play that. Let's get that, and let's opt. Polluted Delta. Let's put that on the bottom. Shark Typhoon's a really good one. All right, and let's just shock in a Hallowed Fountain then. And this way, at the end of the turn, we can just make a big shark And if the opponent has Gifts Ungiven, that's good for them, but Manamorphose, sure. Tap land. Okay. So now let's just make a big, goofy shark. I mean, it plays a little bit into a repeal if the opponent has one, but that's fine. We're not going down on cards at all to do this, so. All right, Fatal Push is really good. I'm going to play that fetch land so that we always have Fatal Push open. Sure, another Manamorphose is fine. We have these Kaya's Guiles to exile their graveyard, which is cool. Baral. Okay, that's fine. Actually, let's just make a 1/1 and exile your graveyard. Let's make you sacrifice a creature and make a 1/1. If you sacrifice a creature, create a 1/1. We'll go black and white. So what this does here is actually makes our opponent have to interact with our creatures or they just lose. All right, they're going to remand the Kaya's Guile. Yeah, that's fine, because we're just going to have them do it again. There's no Storm cards end step that they can use to win this, I don't think. All right, there's the Empty the Warren. So each opponent sacrifices a creature. Create a 1/1. Black. And this. Do I have another remand? Sure, another remand. Let's... I guess also let that happen. And then we'll just do it again. Okay, cool. Opponent concedes. Perfect. So that's actually the win there. Awesome. Making our opponent use cards, not the way they want to. All right, so Collective Brutality seems really good. Surgical Extraction seems really good. Mystical Dispute seems really good. And Celestial Purge is probably fine. So these cards here, these 10 are all good. They're probably going to have Empty the Warrens, so I'm probably going to want at least one Verdict, but probably not this many Verdicts. That's a lot. Path to Exile is horrendous, so let's board that out. Force Negation is really good. Kaya's Guile is pretty good. Cryptic Man. If we're bringing in the Celestial Purge, we probably don't need... Well, I guess... So Esper Charm actually does a good job dealing with what I would bring in Celestial Purge for. Celestial Purge is for Aria of Flame and Blood Moon, possibly. And Esper Charm does actually both of those things. So let's cut the Celestial Purges. We probably don't need them. We can... probably trim. I doubt the opponent is going to. It's like the Collective Brutality kills the Electromancers already. And I don't even think that's the game that we're going to play. So I think we can probably cut the Fatal Pushes pretty easily and just do this. Like, we're going to try to counter their stuff on the way down and then surgically extract stuff out of their graveyard. Yeah, I think I like this. Let's submit like that. All right, this hand is good. It counters a turn 2 thing, and it has some disruption. I like this. It's not very good against a Blood Moon, but just hope the opponent doesn't have it. Mulliganing to 6 is always good from the opponent's side, or from our perspective regarding the opponent. Opponent is low on lands, because they wouldn't have started with a Shivan Reef otherwise. So we'll see what they do with their lands here. They might go bottom. Put 2 cards on top. All right, that's a little scarier. Yeah, we'll just play the Flooded Strand, and then we can decide what kind of land we want to get. Or a basic for Mystical Dispute. If our opponent plays a creature that is Goblin Electromancer, I'll let it resolve. If they play a Baral, I will not let it resolve. All right, so that we're not going to let resolve. And this is good to know because that means that the opponent is planning on boarding this way, which is not necessarily the way I would have expected them to board. Let's just get a basic here and dispute this. I think I like that. And then we can just Brutality to get rid of a card from their hand. Just whatever their action spell is. Hopefully it's not Blood Moon. If it's Blood Moon, then, you know, they got us. But if it's Aria Flame, we can blow it up with Esper Charm. So that's cool. Remand, Empty the Warrens, Manamorphose. I guess we just take the Manamorphose, or we take the Empty the Warrens. Yeah, this hand's not set up to beat Empty the Warrens. It's set up to beat most other things, though. Like, I don't even know if this hand could beat 6 Goblins. If they draw a Ritual Manamorphose, Empty the Warrens. So yeah, let's just take Empty the Warrens. That's fine. And now we just have to play around Remand, which is fine. It's not the hardest thing in the world to play around Remand. All right, there's the Fiery Islet. Let's play Hallowed Fountain. This way we have Archmage's Charm or Esper Charm up, depending if the opponent taps out or not. Goblin Electromancer. All right, that's fine. And we will just draw 2 cards. Or we can Kaya's Guile just to bait the Remand, which is probably what we should do. All right, so each sacrifice a creature, exile all cards from the opponent's graveyard, white, black. And then they'll Remand this, and then we just do it again. Sure. Oh, actually, Collective Brutality is so much better. All right, let's do that. Oh, we can snap Brutality. Yeah, let's do that. With Escalate. So we'll snap Brutality with Escalation. So this, and I think we're going to want to discard the Esper, the other Collective Brutality, I think. No, remember the Kaya's Guile. Yeah, let's get rid of the Kaya's Guile. That's fine. All right, Ritual Manamorphose. So we'll get rid of Manamorphose and hope the opponent doesn't draw, like, the nuts. Yeah, all right. So if they draw, like, Past in Flames here, I think we're in trouble. But if they don't draw Past in Flames, then I think we're in a pretty good spot. All right, they did not. So now we can attack and then Brutality if the opponent blocks, which I think is fine. This is like a free attack. They probably know that too. No, okay, they're just fine. They're just going to roll into the skid, which is fine. So then I think we're just going to Brutality 2 modes, and we'll discard the Colonnade. You and you, and black, and this, and discard the Colonnade. Yeah, we'll get rid of the Gifts Ungiven. Sure, so they have Ritual in hand, and that's it. All right, cool. And Cryptic Command is great draw. So now we just need to find a shark or something to kind of end this game. We're going to turn off auto yields. All right, Solemnity Vision's fine. I should have just turned off the thing there, but all right, so we know our opponent's hand is Ritual and whatever this card is. Manamorphose, sure. I guess I could have just made our opponent discard those two, but that's fine. I guess we could still make our opponent discard those two. Let's do that. All right, you discard. They could draw off the Fiery Islet if they want so that they discard the other card instead. All right, they might be looking for a remand or something then. But this actually, I think, is better for us. All right, 2 rituals, discarded. All right, they draw off the Islet. Cool, so now Snapcaster Mage is a good draw. Pretty much everything's a good draw. We'll draw 2 cards here, I guess. Why not? Get the Watery Grave. Shark Typhoon's great. We can make a 4/4, which will kill our opponent in 3 turns. All right. Supreme Verdict. All right, well, I guess now we won't lose to goblins. We can draw step, surgically extract. Whatever the most scary card in the opponent's is probably like Manamorphose or Gifts Ungiven. It's probably Manamorphose. All right, so we'll... they might have a Gifts Ungiven here. Oh, Solendae Vision. Okay. We'll see what they got. They don't no longer have these cards in hand. They get a Desperate Ritual. All right, so then we will just surgically extract the Desperate Rituals while they can't do anything about it. We'll do it right now. All right, their hand is Empty the Warrens. Do they have anything super scary in here? They have 2 Aria of Flames. All right, that's not scary. Cool. All right, so their hand is still just Empty the Warrens. There we go, folks. That's the 5-0 with Esper Draw Go. We dropped, what, 2 games the entire match. So, yeah, dropped just the 2. I think I really like the way that we played. I like the way we sideboarded. Esper Charm did really well. Didn't feel like we needed any more closers, really. Maybe like a 4th Shark Typhoon's pretty good, but I don't think it's necessary. Overall, very thrilled with the list. I'm happy that Modern's in a place that you can just play control, and the person who's a better player and sideboarder and knowledge of the meta is more important than what cards we played. You saw how that was. Like I guess the Collective Brutalities came in handy there against Storm because we had like a aggressive game plan of getting rid of their cards, and then we're able to use our cards to pull ahead. But yeah, very, very happy. Once again, hope you really enjoyed this league. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you've watched this far, I really hope that you're returning to the channel. If not, welcome. I play control decks like this all the time. It's usually some sort of mid-range or control deck in Modern. Any suggestions, please leave them in the video below. But I'm going to keep putting out control content until it's unplayable. Thanks all.